What if I told you that the beings responsible for creating humanity just delivered a formal apology to Earth, and their message could be the key to saving our planet? Right now, as we face environmental collapse and wonder why humans seemed hardwired to exploit rather than nurture, ancient voices are breaking their silence with answers we desperately need. I'm about to share the most extraordinary spiritual encounter of my life. A prepared statement delivered by 4 Anunnaki spirits during a solo vision quest in the stone circles of South Africa. What they told me about Earth's true purpose and why we behave the way we do, and the choice we face right now, will change everything you thought you knew about humanity's future. This isn't just ancient history. This is our survival manual. And it starts with understanding that we're living on the rarest, most precious planet in the universe. But we're running out of time to realize it. South Africa holds the largest repository of prehistoric ruins on Earth. It's truth. If you were cruising around on Google Earth and decided to zoom in on Mpumalanga, South Africa, you would see thousands upon thousands of stone circles covering the land. If you could then zoom down and stand amongst those circles, you would see that the stones are skillfully placed. Some of the stone walls stand 3 meters high, others only about as high as your knees. There are circles within circles. Circles filled with curving walls like cells reproducing. There are conjoined circles and single circles. Each stone monument is a unique somatic pattern, and long passageways of stone connect the circles to each other. I am fascinated by these stone circles and have spent many long days exploring them in the company of my great friend Michael Tellinger. It was on my very first visit to South Africa that I met Michael and learned that all of these structures are the sophisticated engineering work of a particular species of alien known as the Anunnaki. According to research, various ancient Sumerian cuneiform clay tablets record that the Anunnaki presence on our planet goes back as far as 400,000 years. The Anunnaki are a reptilian species. Now, I'm not an expert on extraterrestrials, but it is mostly the reptilians who are blamed for all the bad things we experience. Wars, control, slavery, exploitation, and other negative aspects of our world. In general, the Anunnaki get a bad rep, but like any species, there are good ones and bad ones. When I met the first Anunnaki spirit from the past, I'd never heard of them. It was at Adam's calendar in 2014. I'm standing at the northern end of this remarkable site when my grip on reality and time starts to slip. My conscious awareness is shifting between our time and the same day in some far distant past. I can feel a very strong magnetic field, but my attention keeps being drawn to a very tall spirit being standing to my left. Michael's watching me as I keep looking up, and he finally asks, "What are you looking at?" I tell him, "Well, there's a very tall spirit standing next to us." "How tall?" "About 8 or 9 feet. Michael asks what he looks like. His image is vibrating, but he's wearing what looks like a long tunic. What is covering his body is not necessarily clothing, but more a force field. He has long hair pulled back. His skull is elongated, but not severely so. Michael suggests that it's an Anunnaki. I begin to communicate with this spirit as Michael asks lots of questions. The tall spirit says that he's a genetic engineer and a sort of nurse here at the IVF clinic, where they're impregnating 8 Anunnaki women with modified sperm of Neanderthals. He explains to Michael that the area where we are standing has a specially engineered floor that helps to stabilize the artificial insemination procedure. Michael interjects that they've found lots of hematite at this location. Over the years, traveling with Michael, and on my own, I've met many more Anunnaki spirits and learned amazing things about our human origin story and about our planet's ancient past. Distinguished authors and researchers like Anton Parks, who covers topics of ufology, intraterrestrial theory, the Anunnaki and Sumerian civilization, reference many of the same things these spirits have shared with me. In the book Indaba My Children, Credo Mutwa, the distinguished Zulu spiritual leader, describes the exact same things I've been shown. And of course, other information I've received in various site whisperings is in direct agreement with Michael's investigations and what other researchers and spiritual people have told him over the past 20 years. If you're new to the concept of the Anunnaki, here's a brief rundown. The Anunnaki are a group of ancient Mesopotamian deities first mentioned in Sumerian mythology, and later appearing in Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrian texts. Traditionally, they're seen as powerful gods, linked to creation, the underworld, and cosmic order. In modern theories, the Anunnaki are understood to be ancient extraterrestrials who came to Earth. They genetically engineered humans as a slave species to mine gold, and they influenced early human civilization, architecture, and religion. Okay, there are two main characters in the annals of the Anunnaki, Enki and his brother Enlil. Enlil governed the northern hemisphere and pretty much stayed put in Mesopotamia. He became recorded in our history as the character we know as Yahweh, the jealous god who demands obedience and lays down laws. Enki, on the other hand, hung out in the southern hemisphere, largely around Zimbabwe and South Africa, which is referred to in the ancient Sumerian texts as the Great Abzu. He's depicted as a good friend to mankind and worked to liberate and educate the creature that they created, teaching us the secrets of the gods. Now, this behavior didn't sit well with his brother, and a conflict emerged between the clan of Enlil and the clan of Enki. Well, suffice it to say that my encounters have most exclusively been with the Anunnaki of the clan of Enki. The character of Enki, who appears in the histories of many ancient cultures, albeit with different names, Odin, Marduk, Thoth, Prometheus, and the serpent in the Bible. He's also strikingly similar to Quetzalcoatl in the Mayan lexicon, one of the creators of humanity, responsible for bringing civilization and enlightenment to the world. One of the other main characters in the Anunnaki saga is Dumuzi. He's depicted as Enki's son and Inanna's lover. Similar to Enki, Dumuzi was also a friend to mankind and deeply in love with the natural beauty of the earth. In Zecharia Sitchin's translation of the Sumerian cuneiform tablets, Inanna buried her lover's body near his favorite place in the deep Abzu, close to the house of his father Enki, where he loved to wander and dwell. The tablets further clarify that this burial site was intentionally chosen so that when Dumuzi rose again, he would awaken in the place that held deep meaning for him. It's been a full week of adventure and exchanging Anunnaki stories in Botswana with a Bushman shaman in the Sotilo Hills. No, those stories of twisted genetic manipulations and the warthog in my tent are just going to have to wait. Anyway, I'm dozing in my airplane seat on the flight back to South Africa when I'm interrupted by an Anunnaki spirit. What? We're on an airplane in the middle of the air. I know, but it's easier to speak with you here. The spirit launches into a long dissertation on the beauty and majesty of the earth. He begs me to tell everyone how special this planet is. The beauty and variety of life forms is unlike any other planet. We are so lucky to be living here, where there is such abundance and life is so easy. Well, eventually I ask, "Are you Dumuzi?" He answers that he is. He is determined that I can make people change from exploiting the earth to respecting and honoring this amazing planet that we have the privilege to live upon. He delivers his passionate plea, and then he leaves. My hard drive is full of Anunnaki sight whisperings from South Africa. Most encounters feature detailed information about their work here on Earth. My contacts with the Anunnaki have been positive. I have not experienced these reptilian aliens as dark, sinister manipulators. One of these days, I will figure out how to pull this information together in a book. But of all my encounters, none prepared me for what would happen during a solo vision quest in January of 2018. An experience that has completely reshaped my understanding of the Earth and humanity. It was during this vision quest that I received their most profound communication yet. A formal apology to our planet. Okay, so it's January 2018. Now, January in the Southern Hemisphere is the middle of summer. Michael invited a research team of 9 people to spend the month investigating the stone circles. I was the shaman on the team. It was nearing the end of the month of research, and I had many questions and many gaps in my understanding of the Anunnaki and their role in the creation and use of these stone circles. To get my questions answered, I needed to stay in one location and engage in an extended period of sight whispering. In my shamanic tradition, a person seeks wisdom, insight, and guidance from the spirits through a vision quest ceremony. On a vision quest, the seeker goes to a secluded place alone, fasting and praying for 3 days and 3 nights. In that time, if one is quiet enough and humble enough, a vision may be received. I felt strongly connected to a particularly magical place we had visited earlier in the month. 2 very large conjoined circles on the top of a hill. At the start of our research month, the team gathered just above these circles on a small hillock. I quieted my mind, searched for the right frequency of the past. The energy here is very strong, and I make an immediate connection to a parallel timeline in the ancient past. There are lots of Anunnaki spirits all around us. One spirit, whose manner reminds me of a concierge, approaches us, welcoming me to the small hill. He gestures proudly. He says, "From this place you can see all of our magnificent work." Well, it's true. From this vantage point, looking in every direction, I can see many stone circles on nearby hills. Well, because of this spirit encounter, we have named this site Welcome Hill, and these circles, the Welcome Circles. I felt that vision questing at these conjoined circles was the thing I needed to do. So I borrowed a tent, and Michael gave me the Jeep that we lovingly call the Beast. I loaded up with bottled water and I took off, driving up into the hills outside of Mgwenya. Now, from my earliest explorations, I know that every stone circle emits electromagnetic energy. Some people get headaches and feel tired and disoriented after spending time in the circles. I also know the strength of the energy diminishes as you move away from the exterior walls. As these 2 welcome circles generate a very strong frequency, I thought it best to set up my tent at least a couple of meters outside the circles. I start to explore the area, searching for a good place to camp, and I notice some thick, luscious grass growing in the V-shaped space created by the meeting place of the 2 circles. Tempting. But the grassy spot is right up against the walls of the 2 circles, meaning that the electromagnetic energy level here is probably too strong for an extended stay. I don't know what to do. I check in with my spirit guides and ask if I'll be safe sleeping this close to the circles. "You're fine, don't worry about it." So I set up camp. I set up camp on the thick grass between the 2 circles. The walls on either side of my tent are fairly intact, about waist high. Here we go. Commence vision quest. As I begin the preparations for my vision quest, I can feel the strong electromagnetic field. I set up my altar on one of the adjacent walls. To kick things off, I perform a traditional smudging ceremony and offer prayers to ask the spirits and ancestors for permission to be on this land. I explain that I'm here to listen and learn. I put forth my intention to contact the Anunnaki builders of these circles. I offer a medicine song to the four directions, and I wait in silence for a response. The greeting comes quickly, and I'm flooded with the sensations of peace and calm, goosebumps, my personal sign that I am connected, welcome, and that the spirits acknowledge my presence. With the opening ceremony complete, I still have the afternoon ahead of me. On previous journeys here, the Anunnaki spirits have explained that the large circle on the south was where they did research and genetic modifications of plants. The circle to the north was where they did research and genetic modifications of humans. I'm eager to learn more about this work. Throughout the previous weeks of exploration, we came across stones that rang like a bell when struck. Being very intent on finding more ringing stones, I decide to conduct a thorough hunt here at the Welcome Circles. I walk up to the wall in front of my tent and I hit a stone. A clear, sharp, bright tone rings out. I hit another stone. And again, a tone. And again, and again. Almost every stone I tap rings. The sheer number of ringers is exciting. After several hours of exploring and recording the ringing stones, ones in different circles, I'm starting to feel a bit tired. It's now late afternoon on a hot summer's day. I realize that I've been inside these circles, exposed to this strong electromagnetic frequency for about 4 hours. Perhaps I'll take a break. A quick meditation and prayer and maybe a nap. I go back to the tent, crawl inside and lie down. I should mention that it is known to the locals that there are leopards roaming in these hills. In hindsight, I'm grateful that Michael didn't tell me about the wild leopards. So lying there, gazing out the open door, I look at the hills to the west. It's a hot day, and I think, it's going to be an oven in here when the sun sets. I wonder if I should move camp. But I'm feeling more and more tired. I figure, well, if I fall asleep, the sun will wake me up when it sinks lower in the west and shines in the door of the tent. And if it's too hot, at least I'll be rested and have the energy to repitch the tent. But the effort of moving anything, even my own limbs, is starting to seem monumental. I'm experiencing a strange feeling of paralysis and really tired and really out of it. I start to succumb to the exhaustion, and I think I'm going to pass. Yep, I pass out. Now, as I come to, my first thought is, wow, I just passed out. Strangely, I'm not worried or even concerned about why I passed out. I just want to figure out how long I've been unconscious. I review my last conscious thoughts. Well, I was worried about the sun shining into the tent. Well, it's not here yet, so it can't have been that long. I gaze out the door of the tent. Well, wait, where is the sun? I crawl out of the tent and I look around. The sun is in the east. Wait, what? So this means I've been out all night. I crawl back into the tent and I scrabble around until I find my phone. 13 hours have passed since going into the tent for a wee nap. I'm a bit disoriented and groggy, but mostly I feel fine. I do need to pee, however. So I crawl back out of the tent. I take a short walk away from the circles and have a nice long pee to think things over. Well, when I turn around to go back to the tent, I'm stopped dead in my tracks. I'm staring directly at 4 Anunnaki spirits hovering in midair directly in front of me. They're tall, maybe 3 meters or so, They're dressed in coarsely woven sleeveless tunics with aprons over the top. They feel and look like scientists. All four are male. They have long dark hair that's tied back. Their faces come in and out of focus. I didn't really see their faces clearly until the very last day of my vision quest. They're just there, floating above the meeting place of the two circles facing my tent. You said you'd like to chat with us. Sure, yeah, hi, I stutter, slightly embarrassed to have been caught relieving myself. We're here to speak with you, but first, we would like to make a statement. Okay, I crawl quickly back into the tent and grab my phone so that I can record their statement. Here is their complete statement, exactly as they delivered it to me that morning. They began by doing something I never expected, taking full responsibility. We apologize to Gaia and to the people of the earth for our intervention. We, like you, saw an opportunity and we exploited it. We were on the edge of extinction, and the gold on this planet could save our civilization. We came and we plundered. We saw the potential of this place and we exploited it. We changed the atmosphere. We created a species. Both of these were gross interventions. We don't know what would have happened had we not intervened here on this planet. The things we did changed the course of this planet. We accept our responsibility for this action and for encouraging other races to follow in our footsteps. We were boastful about our discoveries and filled with ego and pride about our creations. And for that, we owe a debt. Standing there listening to this, I was overwhelmed by their honesty. Next came their justification for why they exploited Earth. I call this section Earth's Unique Nature. You live on an incredibly beautiful planet. Understand that she is a living being, different than other planets. Our wish for you is to work with her, and not as we did, exploit her. Work in balance with her, for the good of all. This is a place for creation. This is a creation planet. This planet teaches and develops creators, because they can easily manifest things here. The variety of species you enjoy is particular to this planet, and proof of so much unique experimenting and creating. You can appreciate the excitement of being able to create. That was the excitement we had. We could come here and create a model. We could design flowers, birds, insects. We could modify and be creative. Once a form was created, Gaia accepted the form, and the form was able to propagate. I could feel their excitement about finding a place for uncontrolled creation and unchecked experimentation, and I understood that. Then they revealed exactly how they ran wild at this very location. I call this next section their creative work here. For a while, we did keep this place secret, even from our own people, so that we could experiment and create new life forms. The two circles in front of you were our original terrestrial labs of creation. We were swept up in the excitement of being able to do whatever we needed, whatever we wanted, and whatever we could in this place. Eventually, news of how easy it is to create new forms on this planet spread. We spread the word to the rest of the universe that anyone could come here and they would be allowed to exploit, plunder, and create. Because as we told others, that's precisely what we did. We wish now, in hindsight, that better protection for this planet would have been put in place, and that she would have been allowed to evolve and grow and nurture in peace and in love. Knowing I was standing in their actual laboratory made this even more real. But what came next was a bold claim that we can understand them because we have the same tendencies. This next section is titled Understanding Human Nature. To say that our actions were just human nature is something you might understand, because you were created in our likeness and have so much of our genetic makeup and personality. We ask that you, our creatures, accept that you would have done, and indeed you have done, the same. You could say that it is human nature to see a golden opportunity and exploit it for your own benefit. The qualities of domination and control come from us. These qualities have created the disharmony you now live with. We see that our ego was fed by a continual diet of innovation, control, and domination. It was a profound moment. They weren't excusing our behavior, but explaining its origins. Then they revealed something beautiful, Earth's true purpose. The purpose of this planet is for souls to incarnate here in physical form and learn the lessons of unconditional love, to absorb, to transmute, and to give back. A soul may return here for as many cycles as are required until that soul becomes a creator in its own right. This is, and perhaps always was, the destiny of this planet. Our interruption means that we will never know for sure what would have happened here had we not created humans. Understanding that Earth is essentially a school for learning unconditional love is a powerful paradigm shift. But they weren't finished. After asking for forgiveness, they delivered their most important plea, the heart of why they came to speak with me, to offer an urgent plea for humanity. The past cannot be undone. Perhaps we were an integral part of the destiny of this planet. Whatever the case, we would like you to move forward with a true understanding of the past. We ask that you understand and that you forgive our intervention. We ask that you embrace the history of your presence and our presence, bravely and with determination. Forge a new path in partnership with Gaia herself. We would implore you to honor sustainability above innovation, to honor partnership and collaboration over control and domination. Our hope for you is that you turn away from this pattern you inherited from us and look for partnership, cooperation, and sustainability above all. This guidance felt like a lifeline, a way forward that honors both our past and our potential. They concluded with words that still move me. Perhaps we have grown and matured because of our experiences here. Perhaps there is a bigger contract playing out, some greater destiny and a greater design. We believe that there is much you can learn from our past and our actions. Thank you for coming with an open heart and an open mind to listen to us. Thank you for understanding and having compassion for us. We hope that we will be of help to you. We are grateful that we can have this counsel with you at this time. We are prepared to answer any questions and explain more of what we did here and how these circles facilitated our creations. And that's the end of the statement that these Anunnaki spirits had prepared. I knew I had just received one of the most important messages humanity has ever been given. Look, there's a lot here, and for some reason this statement was given to me to share. So if you'd like a copy, there is a PDF in the description of this episode. I'm standing here in the bright morning light at 8 a.m. processing what I've just heard. I'm moved by the beauty and humility of their words, and I'm struck by the profound implications of this message. Here are beings taking responsibility for actions that occurred hundreds of thousands of years ago. Their message couldn't be more relevant today. We're facing the same choice they did. Exploit our planet's resources for short-term gain, or work in partnership with Gaia for long-term sustainability. They're essentially warning us not to repeat their mistakes, to choose cooperation over domination, sustainability over endless innovation. What moves me most is the explanation that because we carry their genetics, we've inherited their tendencies toward exploitation. But unlike them, we still have time to choose a different path. Many people know the Anunnaki only as evil manipulators who ruled in Sumer. I must say that the Sumerian Anunnaki sound very different to the spirits I've experienced in South Africa. I don't know, perhaps it's the difference between the Anunnaki of Enlil in the northern hemisphere and the Anunnaki of Enki in the southern hemisphere. I don't know. What I do know is that the Anunnaki spirits I have spent many hours channeling are compassionate, friendly, helpful beings. My shaman name is Eagleheart because I can find a place for them in my heart, a place of acceptance and a place of understanding. I'm willing to hear their story without judgment. When I speak with these Anunnaki, I feel genuine interest and compassion coming from them. Perhaps they sense my openness, and that is why they have continued to communicate with me and share the details of their experiences here on Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago. Time and again, they express gratitude that I am interested and willing to communicate and connect with them. I'm grateful for the time that I've spent with these intelligent, compassionate beings. The remaining days of my vision quest were filled with detailed information and visions of these genetic engineering circles in full operation. But those spirit encounters will have to wait for another episode. For over 3 decades, speaking with ancient spirits at sacred sites around the globe, I've been a portal and a bridge between worlds. But my relationship with the Anunnaki of South Africa has become something deeper. They recognize me when I return to their circles. They entrust me with their knowledge and their stories, and through me, they're hoping to reach others. Their apology isn't just ancient history. It's a warning and a roadmap. They're showing us that we can choose partnership over exploitation, sustainability over endless growth. The same electromagnetic frequencies that powered their genetic laboratories can now be used for healing and communication. You don't need to be a shaman to connect with these energies. Start by simply acknowledging Earth as a conscious living being. Choose cooperation over control in your daily life. Listen to the land around you. The dialogue between humanity and our creators is just beginning. The Anunnaki have more to share about healing our planet, understanding our true nature, and reclaiming our role as conscious creators rather than unconscious destroyers. I'm Eagleheart, your sight whisperer, and I'll keep bringing you these conversations that conventional science won't touch. Some truths can only be received when we're willing to listen with our hearts. The ancient ones are waiting. Are you ready to hear what they have to say? If you want to take a deeper dive, become a member. Members can download a free ebook created just for this episode with powerful lessons, deep contemplations, and a shamanic ritual for you to perform. There are lots of other cool monthly perks for members, so have a look. If you want to experience more ancient wisdom and sound healing, follow, subscribe, and be sure to click the notification bell so you can join me for more shamanic adventures. If you liked this story, check out Star Whisperers of Sardinia in Season 1 and Orkney Spirit Women, Ancient Women's Knowledge from Season 2.